Welcome back once again to another of my tutorial, as I want to show you on how to get your neckline for your off shoulder. This is a video that was requested from one of my subscriber on how to trim out your off shoulder or to get your neckline. So I still have another request on how to get your full shoulder using your off shoulder to create your full shoulder, and I want to give a little explanation. I hope it is clear for you to understand on how to get that. So I want to use this as an illustration to get the one for full shoulder before coming back to get the one for off shoulder. So I hope this helps after explaining this. So I also have a video on how to cut and how to sew. After drafting, I cut and how to sew. I have a separate videos for that. So in case you don't know how to make yours to look exactly like what you are seeing here, you can go on to watch those videos, because I have several videos on how to do that. So what I want to show you here now is how to get your neckline and how to get your calculation. So what I will do now is to fold my front in 4. So I fold it in 2, as you can see, because this is the front which I have here. Later on I'm going to show you on how to do your back. So fold your front just like this. So after folding your front, if you go through the video which I showed you on how to get your off shoulder, you will see that after getting my measurements, I have my full shoulder measurements as the final result for this. So if you want to attach your sleeve, you want to make it a full shoulder, to attach your sleeve, your full shoulder sleeve, you are still going to use the same process, but that you can add your 0.5 inch for sewing allowance, because you are going to join your sleeve to it, or you can still make it that your exact shoulder measurement. It will still work in either ways which you want to make use of. So after that, you will get 2.5 inch. You will get 2.5 inches for your shoulder strap which you are going to use. You are going to get 2.5 inches. This is where you are going to draft out your neckline. I am coming to that, but I want to explain to you on how to get your strap before explaining on how to get your neck depth. So after having your 2.5 here, so you will remember when cutting off our off shoulder, I threw away 4 inches before cutting out my off shoulder. So if you want to cut your full shoulder, what you are going to do to make this calculation easier for you is to throw away 3.5. That means this half inch to make it 4 will be for your sewing allowance. But in case you have already thrown away 4 inches for your sewing allowance, what you are going to do is to include the 0.5 which you are supposed to keep for your joining allowance for your main body. You are going to include it for your strap. If in case you want to make use of this form as your normal off shoulder depth for you to put your strap in making it full, you can still put the 0.5 which you are going to make here. As I told you, if you want to make it the full shoulder, you can go on to make it 3.5. You can go on to throw away 3.5, but if you want to throw away 4 inches, it is either ways. You can also do it 3.5 or 4 inches. But I just want you to know that if you are going with 4 inches, which means your strap is going to be longer. Your strap is going to be longer than this other one. I don't know if I'm making sense here. So if you are going with 4 inches, what you are going to do is to make your strap 10, which is divided by 2. 10 divided by 2 will give me 5. If I make it 4, so 1 inches which I have here now is for your sewing allowance. Why this 1 inch is for your sewing allowance? Because 0.5 is going to pay for this other part that will go in for the joining of your sleeve. It is going to pay for the joining of your sleeve. That is the excess of that 0.5. So let me say you make it 5 inches for your strap. Then your neck width, what you have here is your neck width. So what you are going to do now is to minus your 4.5 which you already have, to get the depth of your neck. So my depth of my neck, which I want to make use of now, is 7 inches. So I will mark it at this 7 inches which I have here, and from this 7 inches I'm going to connect it to my shoulder which I have here. So you can see what I have here. So at this note, what I have here, you can go ahead to give it any design or any shape of your choice. You can go on to put any curve you want to, or any design you want. You can go on to make it like this. It all depends on how you want your neck design to look like, and the depth also depends on how you want it to look like. So I'm still going to cut my off shoulder, but I want to use this to explain on how to get a full shoulder before going to my off shoulder, so it will still work in both parties. So what I'm going to do now is just to give you a clue. So I'm going to trim out. So what I use here for my neck depth is 7. It all depends on how many you want to use. You can go with 8, you can go with 7.5, you can even go with to the extent of 9, but it is better you take the depth of your neck measurement from your client and ask them where they would like it to stop, for their bobs to not to show like that, or not to reveal more of their bobs. You know how it is going to be. So what I'm doing now is to connect it down to this other part here. So here, like what I told you, here is where your strap is going to sit from. So as I told you, if you are reducing 4 inches, which means your strap is going to be 5 that you are going to cut. Your strap is going to be 5 if you are making 4 inches, but if you are making it 3.5, your strap is going to be 4.5. Because of this allowance here for it to sit properly, you will add 1 inches. Let me say my strap, how will I make this easy for you to understand? Let me say I took away 4 inches here, and I'm going to join 0.5 inch here. So this joining of this 0.5 inch here, this allowance that goes in must be replaced. This allowance that went in here must be replaced. So the replacing of this 0.5 inch will make it 5. So that, which means 4.5 is going to be here. That, let me say, because I have already folded this in, so in total of this is going to be 4.5. This one that made it 5 has gone in with this. So I've made myself clear. So after that, what you are going to do now is to get your armhole curve for your full shoulder. Get your armhole curve for your full shoulder. So after that, let me open it for you to see. So this will be the neck depth for your full shoulder. This is not an off, this is your for full shoulder, which you are going to attach your strap to complete your sleeve. So after getting this, let me show you on how to get your back measurement. Okay, so I have my back here. I want you to take note, because I am not making this for full shoulder. I won't be able to trim my armhole like this. I will keep it like this because what I want to work with is off shoulder, and if I go ahead to trim it like this, it will affect my work, because I am making this for an off shoulder. I am trying to make you understand on how to get your full shoulder in case you want to do this. I might still have work like that to do, and I will still come back again by then to show you on how to get your full shoulder and how to sew it. But I just want to explain this for you, it to be easier for you to understand, in case you have something like this to do and I have not dropped any video on how to do that. At least this will help you on how to go ahead to do that. So I want to go straight to my off shoulder, but let me go ahead to show you on how to do your back before moving further. So I'm going to place my front on my back as I always do. I'm going to place my front on my back just like this. So after placing your front on your back just like this, you can either decide the depth of your neck which you want to use for your back. So some people like their back to go deeper than the front. It all depends on It all depends on your client which you are making for. They might decide to make it equal. Some might like the back higher than the front. It all depends on what your clients want. So let me say I want mine to come lower. So all you are going to do now is to mark from your measurement. You mark your back, then you mark where your strap is going to sit from your front here. So where your strap is starting from, you're going to mark there, and your armhole you are going to also trace it out using your front to trace it out. Then you are going to go ahead to cut it. You go ahead to cut it like this. This is because I am not making for full shoulder, but I know that work will come like this, that if my client might want this kind. So just go ahead to trace it out like this, then you are getting your back. Then to get your lining, go ahead to place your front on your lining and trim out the same shape. Do the same for your back. If in case you don't understand and you still want me to throw more light on this, you can still request again, and I will still come back again another time. If I have off shoulder to cut, I will still explain again. Maybe by then might have a better way to explain it better for you to understand better than this. But I think this is also okay for you to understand. If you don't understand, go ahead and watch the video again. It will help you out. So back to the off shoulder rather. Back to the off shoulder. So what I'm going to do is to get my neck depth, which I've already gotten here. Then I'm going to link it down to this starting point like this. So my off shoulder, which I have here, from my measurement which I took my 4 inches upward, let me say it was like this, and here is my off shoulder. So here is my 7 inches. So you can decide to make it 8 or 7, as I told you earlier. You can decide on the depth which you want. From this I want to make it 7. So just link it down to this your shoulder point there, then connect it down. Instead of adding your 2.5 inch to get the one for your shoulder, you're just going to link this to this end here. Then you're going to cut out. Then I'm going to cut it out just like this, so you can see what I have here. So what I have here now is the one for off shoulder. It has totally terminates the one for full shoulder. So if you are making your full shoulder, don't go ahead to do it like this. Just go ahead to extend your strap to sit. But this one is an off, so your sleeve now will go like this to make it sit on your shoulder, off the shoulder. That's why it is called off the shoulder. So this is what I have for my off shoulder. It is very simple, as I told you. If you have not watched the video on how to draft your off shoulder, this will be difficult for you to understand, because after watching that video, everything about this will be simple for you to follow up. So in case you have not watched that video, I will advise you to go back to watch that video for things to be easier for you to understand on how to go about it. So after getting that, you go ahead to place your front on your back the same way I did for the full shoulder when explaining it. That is the same way you are going to do for your back. And for your back, you can make it lower than the front, you can make it equal. It all depends on your clients, not even you. It all depends on what your clients want, or if they told you to do it the way you like, yeah, before you go ahead to do it your own way. So I'm going ahead to trim mine to be equal. So I'll go ahead to trim mine to be equal just like this. Follow the same shape as my front. So after trimming it like this, I'm going to use this to fold my lining unfold like this, then place this on my lining. Let me look if I can show you on how to do your front, then you go ahead to do the same way with your back. Okay, so this is my lining, and you can see it is unfold. My lining is unfold as my front. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to trim out my neckline. I'm going to trim out my neckline for my lining just like this. So after trimming out my neckline for my lining just like this, what I am going to do is to reduce my lining by 0.7 or 1 inch. I'm going to reduce my lining by 0.7. So what I'm doing now is 0.7, which I am using. Hope you can see what I'm doing there. I'm going to reduce my lining by 0.7. So why did I reduce it by 0.7? It is because after sewing, joining your neckline and joining it at this down part, the lining will sit inside of your fabric without showing out. But if you go ahead to make it equal, definitely your lining will come out, but with this trimming it will sit inside. So this is the essence of cutting your lining lesser than your main fabric. So you will go ahead to do the same thing for your back. So this is all I can show you for now, but in case you still want me to throw more light in any other areas that you want to understand better, you just comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe if this is your first time of seeing my work. Don't forget to subscribe, because I have a lot of video coming for you to learn, and I have a lot of requests coming up because I'm starting to get some request work, and after this I'm still going to show you another request work from a subscriber as well. So thank you very much for staying tuned to this length. I really appreciate your effort, your time to learn and to practice with me. So stay safe and remain blessed.